Hi everyone, let's go over my low time frame and micro bullish and bearish Elliott Wave scenarios on Bitcoin, starting with my low time frame bullish scenario where we're looking for an ABC to the upside. Now in this scenario previously we had a potential 5-3-5 wave structure, but because the low on some exchanges over here has been taken, and also because if this is a wave C you want to see an impulsive structure and it's not really impulsive so far, this scenario is now invalidated, and therefore I'm looking for potentially something else where we then have a 3-wave structure in a wave A, and everything that is forming over here is part of a wave B, which is a corrective structure. Now if this wants to be a wave B, then either we do have an ABC. On some exchanges it then took the low, but that's fine. So either this is an ABC and we now move towards the upside in a 3-wave structure, or, and that might be more interesting to align all the exchanges and take the double low that we have on my chart, which is the Coinbase chart, is that this move over here, an ABC, is only a W. Then we have a 3-wave to the upside in an X, which is already finished. We do have some bullish divergences, so maybe X is going to finish a little bit higher. And we do have a little bit of a blue target box here as well for resistance between 26.4K and 26.5K. For that then maybe being the high of a wave X, and then looking for another move to the downside in a wave Y. Now if this is the high of the white wave X over here, then the common target for a wave Y is the 0.618 taken from the high of A to the low of W to the high of X, which is kind of in confluence with the target for a potential expanding flat wave B, which is then a 5-wave move. So in this particular scenario, the most common target for a wave B is between 24.9K, basically 25K, and 24.6K. So this is a very important area for maybe then price wicking to the downside and then up, or of course first hitting that target box over here. We have now a weekly naked point of control at this level from the previous week. You can see it over here, 26,450 is that level of interest for then potentially a move to the downside and then a move up. And you can also see that this area over here has confluence with my yellow target box, which is sitting between 24,850 and 24.3K. So that could also be a first touch of the yellow target box before then a move to the upside. But then again, we have some bullish divergences locally. The target is this high of X, so we have to wait and see what happens. If this high is taken, will price continue to push? That is absolutely fine, right? Because then we have a 3-wave structure and we're looking for a 3-wave move to the upside, or do we get an expanding flat, which is also very interesting. But in both of these scenarios we would be looking towards the upside. So if you're interested in longs, make sure you have a clear plan, strategy, have your entry requirements ready, and know where your stop loss is as well to take into account all the different scenarios. If we then go to the more, let's say, bearish scenario over here on the low time frame, then it's kind of the same. So over here we then have a 5-wave structure in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move, and then we want to be followed by a 3-wave move to the upside. So this is a little bit higher time frame than the previous scenario, because in the previous scenario we are looking for a move towards the upside, where this is then a wave A, 3-wave B, and then we get a wave C towards the downside. Now for this potential wave B over here, this double top is very, very interesting, currently sitting at 27.466. You have 2 highs, and there must be some interesting liquidity as well above these highs. And just a little bit higher, we have the blue target box sitting between 28K and 28.1K for a little bit of interesting confluence, a daily, weekly point of control there as well. And we got also here a couple of highs, not necessarily a very important highs, like a bit of liquidity over here, but nonetheless an area of resistance for then potentially a high of B and moving to the downside in C. The reason that I don't have this wave B over here is because if this is a 3-wave move and then a wave B, it is extremely short. This wave B is even shorter than the 0.236, which is in time. So if you take a fib time from the beginning to the low of A to then the high, and then double click at the low of A, you're comparing the time of A to the time it took to develop wave B. Sorry, I'm struggling with my words there. And you can see that over here, wave B is much shorter than the 0.236, which is extremely short for a B. So I would prefer to see wave B ending over here, somewhere higher, somewhere over here between, for example, the 0.618 and the 1-to-1, absolutely fine, but also the 1-to-1 and the 1.618 is also fine for wave B. But I personally would be looking, if this is wave B over here, for another rotation towards the upside in this range over here. If we then go to the most bearish scenario on the lower time frame, we're looking at an impulsive structure to the downside. In this then being either an A, B, and then a wave C to the downside, or this is a wave 1, 2, and then a bigger 3. But that is not matching any of my high time frame scenarios, so that's not preferred. I'm looking for a 3-wave structure to the downside, so potential A, B, C is a scenario. But in this scenario, wave B is already in, and I just explained why that is not preferred in my opinion. And we are then looking for this to be a wave 1, then a 2, and then you want to see a move to the downside. However, this is then 1, 2, this is then to be a wave 3, for example, then we have a 4, and then we have a wave 5 to the downside. So we are then already in a wave 5, which means that this wave 5 most likely is going to end up at that yellow target box, which in one of the scenarios I've just explained, this one, is also a target for a wave B. So the target is quite similar for then a bounce in this yellow target box towards the upside. And honestly, if we look at this being a wave C, can we count an impulse here? Yeah, we can, like a 1, 2, and then this is maybe still part of a bigger 3. Doesn't look great so far on the lower time frames. This is a very long range by now, so you want to see continuation to the downside in wave C. And if we have a quick look at the volume is good. Volume is quite similar to wave A as well, and that is exactly what you want to see. And the 1-to-1, the vertical line, is the 1-to-1 comparing wave A in time with wave C in time. And usually a wave C takes a little bit more time to form, so we have to wait and see how that is then gonna pan out. So micro scenarios. Let's go to the 15-minute. And price moved to the downside overnight for me. Price moved over here to the downside. A, B, C is what we're then looking for over here, where the 1-to-1 has been hit for this wave C over here. So we have a 3-wave structure for then a bigger wave A in this particular scenario. We have the low over here of wave B. We have another low over here, and you can see that this wick took the liquidity of these lows. And that's important because actually below this low over here, I don't have any like support, like naked point of controls, dailies, or any important levels over here. Yeah, we do have a value area low from the range that we have been in. Let's see if I pull this range over here. You can see we have a little bit of an untouched value area low over here, but that is it basically. So if price is going to take this wick low, chances are we're going to move towards the downside and then take the double low as explained earlier. So that is something to also keep in mind, which then might lead to a 5-wave move to the upside. So then we have an A, B, C in that green B that I've shown you earlier. So that's a 3-wave move. And what I again like about this is that in some on some exchanges, this low over here took this low, but as you can see on my exchange over here on the Coinbase chart, it's not yet taken. So I think it would be nice for all exchanges to align and eventually take this low before then a move towards the upside, either now or later. And in the more bullish scenario, the low is already in, and we then have this as a 3-wave in a W, 3-wave in an X. But in this scenario, if this is, it looks to be a 5, 3, and then a 5-wave move, the most common target for an in like A, B, C is between the 1 and the 1.236, which hasn't been hit yet. So if this is an A, B, C to the downside, you would be looking mainly for this area over here. The 0.618 in an A, B, C is a rare target, unless this is a WXY, which is a 333 type of move. But in a WXY, this then has to be a 3-wave move, and it actually looks nice in a 1, 2, 3, 4 extended fifth corrective structure, and then you'd be looking for a 1, 2, 3, potentially 4, and now a 5 to the downside. So that's something I do keep my eye on. But then again, we do have some bullish divergences locally, so we have to wait how this is gonna work. And then if we look towards the upside, if this is then a 3 already finished, because there's again not much left below this wick over here, so this is still could then be the end of a wave X over there, and even though it might not hit the 1-to-1 or the 1.236, it's still inside an area of interest for then an ABC, low of X, and then looking for Y towards the upside, where you expect this high to be taken. And currently the 1-to-1 of wave Y is very nicely aligned with the blue target box that is sitting between 26.4k and 26.5k for some interesting resistance. And if we then go to the CVD divergences, you can see over here higher low on price, lower low on the CVD, which I'll show you in a second. Target is this high over here. And we also still have these bullish divergences on a bit higher time frame, higher low on price over here, but then a target over there. However, that is on my chart, because the problem is that this low has been taken on some other exchanges. So therefore, I'm now going to remove this and only look at the local priority CVD, because CVD in general is best used on the local lower time frames. And if we then go to the local and lower time frames over here, you can see we have a higher low on price, but on the yellow line, lower low on the CVD, bullish divergences. And if we actually go to the 5-minute, then you can see very, very locally here as well, we have a higher low on price, but on the yellow line, lower low on the CVD as well as on blue. And then the target is this high over here. So this is what I wanted to say. I hope this video was helpful or valuable to you. Please check out the most recent educational video I've made about the best trading indicator you can use, in my opinion, which is the CVD. And thanks for watching and subscribing, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.